So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a website very quickly using AI. And I think you'll be surprised to see how things have changed from the old days where it was hours and hours. I'm on Claude.ai, which is the same sort of thing as ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. And I'm going to literally start by just writing some words into the box to ask it to build a website. So I've written in this pretty straightforward prompt saying, please build a website for my ironing business. I deliver your ironed clothes back to your home, see the catchment area, and offer 3 different speeds of service. I cover the area around Bromley in Kent within a 5-mile radius. The website should be called Sammy's Ironing, and I will get a domain name for it later. Please put some placeholder images of ironing activities to animate and make the process look professional whilst not hiding that it's a home business. I'd like a colour scheme of green, blue and pale pink, and a design which looks something like the Apple Store website in terms of navigation, but make it feel more homely and friendly, please. Start off with a 1-page landing site with different sections which can be jumped to using the top navigation. So now I'm just going to press go and we'll see what Claude comes back with. So now it's going through some workings, and if you click here, you can actually see more detail of what's going on, but I like to just let it do what it's doing. And so now it's saying, now let me build the site. I'll create a polished single-page React landing site. So we don't really need to know what any of that means, but yeah, it's just working on what you've asked it to do. So here you can see that Claude is writing very quickly the code which is going to make up our website. And we don't need to understand any of that. In fact, I tend not to even make it visible, but I just wanted to show you the huge amount of code that it produces in a very short period of time. Now, in the old days, this would have taken someone either coding it who knew how to code a fairly big chunk of time. But more recently, we've been using things like Squarespace or Wix to build in a sort of drag and drop way. But that in itself can take hours and hours. Whereas this, you'll see, will be very quickly done. Okay, so now it's opened up a sort of side area. The website is there. You can see what it's built. And let's go through it. So local Bromley service, crisp, fresh clothes delivered to your door. Life's too short for ironing. I'll collect your laundry, iron it beautifully, and return it to your home in Bromley, wrinkle-free and ready to wear. So you can view prices, you can get a quote, how it works, 3 simple steps to wrinkle-free bliss. As you can see, it's been pretty creative with the writing. It's come up with the 3 different price plans, which we will be able to edit the details into. Catchment area section, areas that it covers, and it's already put in the areas that would be within that 5-mile radius. It's pretty smart, really. So, about Sammy. So you want a little bit of about to gain people's trust, and then get in touch, ready to ditch the ironing board. Drop me a message and I'll get back to you quickly with a quote. Now let's have a look over on this side. So it has told us, here is your Sammy's ironing website. It's a single-page site with smooth scrolling between sections. What's included? And we've just been through that stuff. And you will want to update the pricing, the phone number, the email address, your own photo in the about section, working hours if different. Want me to tweak anything? So here it's asking us, is it all right? Do we want something to change? So let's say that we want it's great, but we would like the pink to be a bit darker. So let's try here. And I'm going to use dictation. The site is great. Could you please just make the pink background a little bit darker for a bit more punch throughout the site? As you can see, talking to whichever LLM you're using is much quicker than typing. So you have both options, but on average, people speak 5 times faster than we type. So what it's doing now is doing quick fix, darkening the pink tones, and there you go on the right, the adjustment has been made. In the same way that it's made that color adjustment, we could have said to it, okay, covering the Bromley and surrounds. So you might want to change it to only a 3-mile radius, and you would do exactly the same thing here and dictate or type in that change. and it will just make it. What we need to do before we can take the site live is to make sure that all of these buttons that you can see here actually do something. What we need to do before we can take the site live is to make sure that all of these buttons that you can see. Okay, so now it's opened up a sort of side area. The website is there. This is a big update. I'll rebuild the whole file with all the functions. So I have written a prompt here, which says it's great. Now, can we build the bits behind the buttons? View prices. The view prices button is here. I've written, I charge £25 per 9 kilos machine load of clothes. If it won't fit into my 9 kilo washing machine, then it's over. There's a supplement of £5 for every double. So basically here, I'm just listing out how I price the service so that Claude can work out what to put. And then I've put delivery to your home includes the price in the price as long as you are within the 3-mile drive from me. If you're outside, then it says what happens in various situations. So I'm just giving it the information for it to use. Get a quote. So the get a quote button is here, and it says use the pricing above to create a quote, then add the quote to their message into an email to my email address, sammy@ironing-bromley.co.uk, with quote from site in the subject field. So I'm really just thinking ahead as to what happens, what I want that button to do. Then the get started buttons would lead to the quote widget, provide the address for them to drop their clean laundry, ready for ironing, and I've given an address, it's a fictitious address, and then state that the return by timing starts from the time the laundry is dropped with me, because I put up here some details about, we've got the details here of the different packages. So we've got relaxed, which is a 5-day turnaround, 48-hour turnaround, or same back by. So just really giving it the logic behind that. Then it's ask for a click to accept this statement. So we want them to accept the statement that they've acknowledged that the timing starts from when they drop it, and then to present a payment screen for quick and easy payment by bank card. So I've put that, use a placeholder image for the moment until I connect my Stripe account or other payment account. We need a thank you for your order screen to appear, or a failed payment screen in the case that their payment didn't go through. Please make all of the above work before moving forwards to going live onto a domain that I own. Now launch it so that it does that work. I will let it do its work for a minute or so, and then I will come back. What we need to do before we can take the site live is to make sure that all of these buttons that you can see, what we need to do before we can take the site live is to make sure that all of these buttons that you can see. So here it is. It has finished the work. It's popped up the updated website on the screen here, and it has done it. So all wired up. Here's what each button does now. Get a quote, and then it says opens a pricing calculator modal with plus or minus steppers for loads, extra weight, and double bedding. Let's have a look at that. So it's opened up the website on a Chrome page, and let's try the get a quote. So if we do get a quote here, we can add a couple of baskets, a bit of extra weight, and one double sheet set. Then postcode, you put your postcode in, and it will, if I put a wrong one in, then it will say that it's outside. And if you put the right one in, it's going to basically accept it. So then it's giving you all the details of your order with the total amount. And there it has opened up. This is one option, which is opening up an email for them to send with their quote request. Now, I want to improve this and make it so that it all stays within the website and that they can just pay for their order and receive the information of where to drop it off. So we come back to Claude here on the left, and I have just written, remove the part which puts quote into an email and move directly to the payment page with a tick box to accept our terms and conditions. Add a terms and conditions page link. Basically, we're just updating the site with that command. So I'm going to send that. And so Claude is now just going to make that update. So you can always see pretty much what Claude's doing, where he's at with the task you've just given. And he's saying here, I've got the full picture, changes needed. He lists out the changes that we want, quickly check that they make sense, and let's make all the edits. So off it goes, and it's working through those now. So now it's saying done, here's what's changed, lists out what it's changed. Want me to tweak anything? And so we can go over here and have a look at what's happened. So the get a quote, let's press that. And so now if we add our bits to the quote, then we fill out a name. I'll put my name in and I agree to the terms and conditions, and then proceed to payment. Total to pay, Stripe payment coming soon. So that we haven't installed that block yet, but that's a very quick job to do. So once that's there, they will be able to pay and receive the confirmation email and the address where they've got to drop it off. So we're also going to just check that the section on choose your speed, the different services and pricing, we've got 3 different services. So let's say we want the same day. So if somebody clicks on same day, it brings up the same day quote, which basically changes the cost. So if we put in the bits that we want, then it will tell us drop off your laundry at this address. You can probably put in there, if you drop it off in the evening, then maybe you say same day, when dropped after midday would be by midday the next day. Anyway, here you've got Sammy's ironing. Now that's just a little emoji with the words, but we can then go on to create the logo for that by prompting here. So we've got our key areas of the site. So these will just jump down to the relevant sections. That is basically the back end. We've built the back end, the kind of functionality behind the buttons. We have gone from no website, no design, no branding, to having this pretty nice and clean. Basically, your website exists. It's not yet live on a domain name, but that is what I will cover in the video which follows this, which is basically about getting your website live. I hope this has shown you that building a website literally can be a 10-minute job. It'll be another 10 minutes to get it live, but ultimately in 20 minutes, you can go from an idea to having a business website that is up and functioning. See you in the next one.